What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday. Going to have another good show and update on yesterday's discussion with Titans second round pick Femi Oladejo and the second round contract stalemate. And then we'll talk about the bar being set for Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Ryan, you and I dominated sports trivia yesterday. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 3:29, I believe to be exact, which was 2 full minutes beating Orlando's over under 5.5. We'll see how we do today because yesterday's success means nothing for today. It could be failure today. It could be slightly less successful. I don't know. But we're going to try to go, again, 9 for 9 with our trivia at the end of the show. But a domino does fall in the Titans' way. What does this mean? We're going to dive into the details about it and get a little mathematical on this. And then Calvin Ridley, Easton and I have been talking, and Ryan, I believe maybe we've had some conversations about this, the top 10 position rankings lists that have been coming out from ESPN.com over the last couple of weeks. Calvin Ridley did get a mention in a backlink on ESPN.com's wide receiver ranking. So we'll discuss the bar being set and how high he can climb with a big-time year if he has a big-time year with rookie Cam Ward. Ryan, what's going on? Welcome in. Let's get this thing off and rolling here.
It's almost football time, man. It's time to get the juices flowing a little bit. It's time to get a little bit excited. I know yesterday we were just like, man, it's a great conversation, but we need more people in the chat. And I'm excited to start this morning off with you all. But before we get going this morning, don't forget to hit that share button on the show. If you're watching live on Facebook with us, hit that share button. It's in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen and get it out onto your feed, please. If you're watching on YouTube, take that YouTube link, send it to a friend in your life, a coworker, an enemy. It doesn't matter. Just one of your favorite group chats out there. Find that Tennessee Titans fan that you know and let them know that A to Z Sports is live and talking Femi Oladejo, second round rookie contracts, Calvin Ridley, bunch of different topics today. You can also repost us on Twitter or X to help spread the word. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and leave a like on the show before we get going here on a wonderful Thursday morning.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports Film Room, and we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment in our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Do please leave us a 5-star Google review. If you do please, that would be amazing for our company. But we also have to thank our sponsors because they are amazing for our company. And they make the show happen and help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process, in Lebanon, or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local and also online at bartondrury.com. So, Ryan, yesterday we discussed at length of the second round pick contract stalemate. Now, I'll kind of revisit the conversation for those who maybe missed yesterday. So this was back in early May 8th. The Texans signed 34th overall pick wide receiver Jaden Higgins to a fully guaranteed contract, the first fully guaranteed contract in the history of second round picks in the NFL. So that was the 34th pick. Then that was before the Browns signed 33rd pick Carson Schlesinger. So the Browns had really no choice but to sign Carson Schlesinger, picked one spot ahead of Higgins to a fully guaranteed contract. And that's it. That was May 9th when the Browns did that with Schlesinger, and no second-round picks had signed their contracts up until yesterday, last night, really. So we talked about this a lot yesterday, of a new precedent, what's going to happen. Is anybody going to jump the line? Because normally the guys in the Jaden Higgins area get 91% of their contract guaranteed, and that number tapers off as you get deeper into the second round of percentage of guaranteed dollars. And so was somebody just going to jump in down the line and give fully guaranteed? What percentage jump is it going to be compared to previous years? Who knows? But it was the San Francisco 49ers who said, you know what, somebody's got to start this thing, right? And so Alfred Collins, defensive lineman, the 43rd selection overall, reached his deal, a $10.3 million deal that includes over $9 million guaranteed and now expected to trigger multiple second-round signings per sources. Until now, 30 to 32 picks have remained without a deal. Here's the interesting part and the important part. Alfred Collins will have 88% of his deal guaranteed, a huge jump over last year's 43rd overall pick. Now, Ryan, this is where math gets involved. And why are we talking about this? Why is this an important domino to fall for the Titans? Because now Femi Oladejo, there's somebody kind of in the middle there. Femi's the 52nd pick. Collins a 43rd pick. You had a gap between 34 and 43, now 43 to 52. At least you're piecing together a bridge to figure out what Femi's guaranteed money could look like, so you get that player on the practice field and training camp. And so mathematics time, right?
Yes.
You were a former teacher, but you didn't teach math, right?
I did teach math.
Oh, you did teach math. I think you said you did lit. Did you do everything?
I was a special ed teacher, so I taught everything.
Oh, you did it. You did it all.
Yeah,
That's right.
did
You did it all. You were doing the important stuff there. So last year, Max Melton out of Rutgers went 43 overall, and he got 78% of his contract guaranteed. So now that's a 10% increase for Alfred Collins, right? Not fully guaranteed, but a 10% jump from 78% to 88%. We did the math yesterday. I think we had it a little off, maybe I didn't go full decimals on this, but 52nd overall pick from a year ago was Adonai Mitchell from the Colts. He got 65% of his contract guaranteed. So what does this mean for Femi? So Ryan, before we dive into the Femi side of things, Alfred Collins, the first domino to fall. What did you think about the news last night after our conversation yesterday morning?
So my initial thought was, I thought it was going to be the next in line, which was Nick Emenwari that we talked about with the Seattle Seahawks. Like in theory, when dominoes fall, the very next one is the one that gets contacted and falls first, right? So you're thinking number 35 overall pick is probably the one that's going to be the tipping point of like what's going to happen next. Very interesting that it is that middle ground player, right? Number 43rd overall, to kind of set a standard one way, but kind of keep things cloudy the other. And what I mean by that is everyone now after pick 43, so 44 through 64, you aren't going to get a guaranteed contract now. Like that's done. Like that's out of the window, but it doesn't necessarily change the concept of what Nick Emenwari is going to get at 35. Like he could still fight conceivably for a guaranteed contract, because 43 does not matter to him. You got picked before him. What matters what was in front of you, that 34 overall selection. But for the Tennessee Titans specifically, it matters a lot, right? Like, because obviously 53 is after 43. So that 43rd overall selection now, that contract being signed, or 52nd overall, my bad, that sets the new standard. I just wrote an article about the 53rd overall pick, which was Benjamin Morrison, that went to Notre Dame, so my mind is a little cloudy there. 52nd overall for Femi Oladejo. This does become standard now, right? Like you're not going to get a guaranteed contract. The only question now is, one, the timing of this, and two, what is the percentage of that contract that is going to be fully guaranteed, which obviously we're going to talk a little bit more about now here moving forward.
Yeah, so we'll get to that here in a second. Nick has a comment. Nick is a contrarian in the comments sometimes, and I always like to bring it up. And sometimes it's funny of like how we think about things in athlete math and forget about how we would view it, right? He says, if it's just $8 to $9 million guaranteed of a $10 million contract, what's the big deal then? I thought it was for somewhere around 30 to 40. No, dude, you're way off when it comes to contracts. And Paul, what's the difference? What's the big deal between $8 million, $9 million, and $10 million? $1 million and $2 million. That's the deal, right? Like, so like I asked Jarrell Casey this. So former Titans D lineman Jarrell Casey, who's been a part of Mount Rushmore conversations recently, that I thought Mount Rushmore conversations were dead. But Jarrell Casey signed a $60 million contract with the Titans in like 2016 or something. At that time, the Powerball was like $600 million for going on. And so the whole joke of like simultaneously, hey, would you quit? What would you, what's the difference in $600 million and $60 million? Right. And he goes, $540 million. That's the difference. And it's like, there's always a difference in the money. There's always a difference in the money. So Nick, what percentage of the cap is that $1 to $2 million contract? It's not about cap. It's about cash. It's about guarantees, and it's about long-term, right? Because when a contract is 80% guaranteed, all of that, 100% of that 80% is going to be earlier in the contract. So if you are a second-round pick, Will Levis, he is easier to cut going into year 4 than than he is going into year 3 because he's got guarantees left. But maybe in year 4, he's got less guarantees left, so it makes him more easily expendable. So that's kind of where it's at. It's Traylon Burks. It makes no sense to cut it because until you have to, because he's on the books. He's a first-round pick. He's got fully guaranteed money. He's going into year 4, right? Yeah, year 4. So what's the difference? His money counts on your books regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's 100%, and it's also the long-term. It's a standard that you're creating as well, right? Like I would think of it like this, Nick. I'm trying to think of a good example. The 49ers just basically gave Alfred Collins 10% more on his rookie contract than the last year's 43rd overall pick. So you went from 78% guaranteed money last year to 88% this year. Depending on what that number is, that domino effect is going to continue, not only for the second round picks that we're talking about for the rest of this year, but for future contracts in your own building, right? So the next year's second round pick for the San Francisco 49ers is going to look at what was created this year and say, I want more than that because the market has already been set and I want to reset the market, right? So long-term outlook, this matters so much because it might not matter as much for just the immediacy, right? Because you're like, okay, what's an extra 1 million? What's an extra 10%? Whatever it is. That is only now. We're talking about a long-term building of an organization, and what happens now determines what happens 3 years from now, determines how it happens 4 years from now, determines how a team is going to structure their cap and how they ultimately are going to utilize that money in the cap and what percentages they're going to give to position X, position Y, second round pick, third round pick. All this stuff is going to matter. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, Austin. If every rookie in the second round would have gotten a fully guaranteed contract within the next year or two, you know who's going to start asking for a fully guaranteed contract? Third round picks. Like that's going to start to happen. That would have started to happen. The fact that Alfred Collins broke the line and said, hey, I got more money, but it's not a fully guaranteed contract. That is going to have a ripple effect one way or the other. And it's going to have a big ripple effect on the Tennessee Titans, specifically at pick 52 with Femi.
100%. So let's do this. Let's ask the question here right now, Ryan. We just want to go full out gut check. Full out gut check prediction. Will the Titans and Femi Oladejo agree to a contract before the first training camp practice, which is less than a week away? It is Thursday. They practice Wednesday. So it's not even next Wednesday. We have got to the point. It's less than a week. It's just Wednesday. It's not a week from today. It's not 2 Wednesdays from now. It is Wednesday. Wednesday's the first practice. So your gut check prediction, will the Titans and Femi Oladejo agree to sign a contract before the first training camp practice? Again, it's on both parties, right? This is not a Femi thing. This is not a Titans thing. It is a both parties have to come together to make this work. So will it happen? It's a yes or no. We'll put it in the chat. Ryan, you've already done that. So we'll see these comments flying away. We'll get to it. But first, let me tell you guys about our friends at the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. When an injury happens in life, you have to make sure you know who you can trust and who you can have help you get off of the sidelines, be done dealing with the nonsense and the inconvenience of an injury as an adult, because it is going to hold you back, whether it's your family life, your social life, your job, anything you want to do, your happiness. Being hurt sucks. So don't just let it sit there and linger, and make sure you get help when you need it. And the Bone and Joint Institute can provide those resources to you. In Middle Tennessee, they've got all the experts, the doctors, the physical therapists right there, the equipment, everything right there in Franklin, Tennessee. Online, boneandjointtn.org.
No matter what platform you're listening to us on, whether you are on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, the one thing they all have in common is a like button. So make sure to hit that like button. Make sure that you are sharing the show with every Tennessee Titan fan that you know. You can also hit the subscribe button on YouTube and look forward to the next part of this conversation this morning.
All right, so Ryan, to the chat you go. With Alfred Collins signing his contract, getting a 10% bump in guaranteed money from 78% a year ago for the 43rd pick to 88% for the 43rd pick this year. Alfred Collins, the Niners. Gut check prediction. Will Femi Oladejo and the Titans agree to a contract before Wednesday's first training camp practice. What are you seeing here on Facebook and YouTube?
It's a little bit more splits than I thought it would be,
Oh,
especially
really?
early on here. So we had Bork that started out with a yes. We also had Titans Kyle that said a yes, but Steven said no. Shrike said no. We had Tall Texan that came in with a yes, and then the yeses did start rolling in now as Bearded Kunu says yes, Cameron Strong says yes, Top Tier says yes. I'm not going to pronounce that, but they said yes as well. Castronofic. Let's go with that. We had a yes again from Brandon, a GM yes, and then Richie said hopefully not.
Why?
I don't know yeah, Richie, if you want to put it in the chat, I'm a little interested in that.
Like, are you a Titans fan?
Yeah. What do you?
I mean, I know Jeff is not a Titans fan who watches our show every day.
Yeah. We'll love to hear if there was a little context there. And then here, the yeses keep rolling. IR Hoshi, we had Ashley, yes. We had a yes from Caleb, a yes from Jason, a yes from Deborah, I'll say yes from Darius. That doesn't sound too confident. We had Eric who said no, but Femi will practice.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. Yeah. Guy Man said don't think so. We had a yup from Nick, a yes from William, a no from Maserati Mac. We had a yes from Edward. Yes from Brad, yes from Major Key, and then a lot more yeses. So the yeses started rolling in, but there were some no's early on, which I found kind of interesting.
Yeah, the hopefully not comment makes no sense to me. Okay, Richie follows up. Second round project pick, not even a real edge. I'll pass. So that's what Richie says. So you just hate the draft pick, is basically Richie's.
We also didn't ask if you like the pick. We just asked if you think he's going to be signed by the time that training camp starts.
Yeah, and this is a prediction. This is not really like you're trying to predict what they will do. It's a yes or no. There is no other option. Like your opinion on the player is irrelevant in this conversation. So Richie just doesn't like Femi as a pick. Not even a real edge. I mean, I disagree. I think Femi Oladejo was misused for the majority of his college career and should have been on the edge 3 years ago at Cal.
Yes.
But
should have been.
I mean, the guy is a freak. And from watching him in a rookie minicamp and then watching him in an OTA and a minicamp practice, I want him out there because he's a big, fast, strong, explosive, athletic, twitchy guy. I don't know if I missed an adjective in there that fits him. Talkative, energetic, everything, right?
Did I tell you the first time I saw Femi? Did I ever tell you this story? I thought this was funny, by the way. I think someone said it. I wanted to pull it. Someone said Richie clearly, it was Bork. He said clearly Richie hasn't seen Femi shirtless, which I just thought was a funny little comment.
True, man.
But first one, 2022 season, Notre Dame was about to play Cal. And I was watching the Cal defense before the game just to have context of who they are and all that type of stuff. And at number 10 at inside linebacker was this rocked up 6'3", 245-pound behemoth. And my first impulse was at that point was like, one, who are you? Two, why are you playing inside linebacker at 6'3", 245 pounds when you're a true sophomore in college? Like you are going to outgrow the position. And that was Femi Oladejo before he transferred to UCLA.
Three. Why are you at Cal?
Yes. Well, I mean, the guy must be. I mean, I talked to him a little bit about it in the interview, but like, I mean, the guy went from Cal Berkeley to UCLA. Like, obviously, academics matter a lot to him. Apparently, in his family, I would say, and with that little journey in college.
Absolutely. No, he's a smart guy. He's well put together, and yeah, if you look at it, if you see him shirtless, you'll be like, yeah, Richie, just give a shot, man. Anyway, so. I think with our question, I think the heavy majority of the answers were yes, they're going to get it done. That the Titans and Femi will get it done. Mm-hmm. So, Ryan, what is your prediction here? Your gut? Less than 6 days now. Less than, I guess, 6 days exactly before report day. So, what do you think is going to happen between the Titans and Femi Oladejo now that Alfred Collins, picked 9 spots ahead of Femi, has signed with the Niners?
I think it's a yes. I mean, I think it's a real firm yes at this point. Like, I would actually kind of be surprised if he wasn't signed by that point because, I mean, like, we have not only a standard in front of him, but we also have percentages now to work off of, right? So on the agent side, You know what last year's 52nd overall pick made. You know what the increase was that Alfred Collins got at pick 43. So, like, you have a lot of data points now to work off of. But you also know from both sides that, like, you're not getting a fully guaranteed contract anymore. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, it would be very hard to convince the Tennessee Titans that, like, hey, it doesn't matter that 43rd overall didn't get a fully guaranteed contract. We won it at 52. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, you really can't make a strong argument there. So I think it's a yes. I think that they'll get it done. They'll figure it out. I think something will be signed. I think he'll be at camp, and I think that he will make more money, obviously, than what the 52nd overall pick did last year.
The Niners did a huge solid to everybody else after them in the second round. Massive, right?
I think it's perfect that it's like right near the middle too, right? Like that middle ground of like understanding what's in front of you and what's behind you. Like I think that was a good spot for it to happen as well.
For sure. And so like the Cowboys, the Colts, Rams, Cardinals, Texans, again, the Bengals. I think the Texans should give Ursary fully guaranteed just for their stupidity of this entire situation at pick 49, but not affect anybody else. So like that just pisses me off the way they've unnecessarily created this entire ridiculous narrative. But I think I think it would have been more. It would have continued to be complicated if Alfred Collins at pick 43 got a fully guaranteed deal, because that didn't like move the ball anywhere for the teams to break off. But I think it's huge. So I'm a yes as well. I think it's going to happen. And why is because a 10% increase in guaranteed money is very doable. That's something that's worth having a conversation. But going from 65% guaranteed to 100% guaranteed, like if anybody watching the show goes in and asks their boss for a raise to that number of 65 to 100%, that's a really tough ask. You're gonna have to put together quite the PowerPoint presentation to pitch on why that's necessary. Well, 10% is something that's you can have a discussion about in good faith, where you understand both sides of things. And so that's where I really do think that the 10% bump here from 78 to 88 makes a 65 to 75 bump for a Femi slot super palatable for everybody involved.
Do you still think, and I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but those picks, this isn't Tennessee Titans related as much now, but from pick now 35 to 42 in that bucket between Higgins and Collins now, do you think there still might be some holdout potential there?
I mean, Bork literally just said this in the chat. If the Titans didn't trade the pick, they'd still be on a fully guaranteed holdout, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. On that, because that's where they're at. They're stuck. And so I think the Quinshon Judkins situation is also a weird break in the action on this as well, because of his off the field domestic situation, which is at pick 36.
Yep.
I do feel like there could be a chance that Imanwari tries for 100% fully guaranteed, and then does it trickle down
right
after that?
Well, I guess I'm curious on so I don't even know who the 37th pick was. I don't have it in front of me.
Hold on. I'll tell you. It was the Arizona guard that I don't want to say his name.
Jonah Sabayanaya. So
that's who it is. So
Nick Imanwari's camp, I think, is definitely going to still fight for the fully guaranteed contract. My next question is like legal issues with Judkins. Throw that one out for a second. Does Jonah's camp still do it at 37, where they're like, hey, 36? That's a very strange situation. I am not dealing with any legal things right now. I am just the next guy now in this chain, in this domino falling thing, right? And if I guess what I'm saying is if Nick Imanwari gets at 35, if he still somehow gets a fully guaranteed contract, it doesn't necessarily end up until 42 at this point, right? Because then I think the domino starts there. Alfred Collins is like the cutoff point. Everything behind you, it's over, the fully guaranteed contract conversations. Everything in front of you, though, is still fair game. So I could still see some some finagling, some negotiations, and a little bit of a time frame here where there could still be some potential holdouts in that 35 to 42 bucket.
Right. So I'm doing some more math. So last year's 37th pick was Jalen Polk to the Patriots, wide receiver. He got 84.7% guaranteed. So let's just say 85%. Okay. So if you use the Alfred Collins 10% bump, then that gets him to 95. Because let's remember this. Let's go back to our original number here. When Jaden Higgins got that 100%, the status quo for 34th overall was a 91% fully guaranteed deal. So that's a 9% bump for Higgins. Sure. So now you kind of look at from 91 to 100. So now you're trying to follow, if 37 was an 85%, three picks after 91%, does that math continue to trail off that way?
You know what's funny is the agent for Jonah is absolutely going to say, hey, if we just do the bump that is created by Alfred Collins to 95, are we really going to fight over 5%? Like, let's just get to 100 here, man. Like, let's just finish this thing. He'll be in Miami tomorrow. Like, let's make this thing done, right? Like, the negotiation tactics are going to be kind of funny from here on out because, like, these agents, man, these agents and these players, like this, again, we're dealing with a situation that has never happened before. Like, this is groundbreaking situation. So I'm just very curious to see what happens in that bucket in front of Alfred Collins, because I still think there are some negotiation tactics that are going to happen from here on out.
Because if I'm the team and the agent saying like, what's 5%? Like, hey, we're not going there. Like you can take your 10% bump and like it, because I, the Miami Dolphins, am not doing this for everybody else in the first 37 picks moving forward. Right. So that 5% is a big deal, but I think the 10% growth is enough there. So I think Top Tier says more players will start signing today. I think that's definitely an interesting one. And then Bork adds another good conversation to this. The Saints second round pick is a quarterback. That's another interesting one, right? With Tyler Shuck. I think Alfred Collins being behind Tyler Shuck signing is another win for the Titans. Again, this is a big deal that happened for the Titans because the awkward ones are earlier.
Right.
Now it's kind of like, all right, you can kind of fall into line from Alfred Collins to Femi Oladejo. You don't have to deal with Quinshon Judkins. You don't have to deal with Tyler Shuck, the potential starting quarterback being in this mix. Let them go do their stuff. It doesn't affect you anyway.
You know what's fun is I feel like we could have done a whole podcast, and obviously we're Tennessee Titans centric, so we would never do this, but it would have been fun to just go through all the unsigned draft picks and make the case for why you deserve a fully guaranteed contract or you don't. You know what I mean? Like that would have been fun, because like that Shuck one's interesting at 40 to the Saints, because he was a guy that had a ton of injuries in college. Like literally his only fully healthy season was this past year at Louisville. So if I'm on his agent side, he's like, hey man, you've had some injuries. Like, let's try to get to as much close to this guaranteed money as we possibly can, just in case. But then on the New Orleans Saints side, they're like, hey buddy, you've been injured a lot, so we're not going to give you a fully guaranteed contract because we don't know if you're going to be available all the time. So it's just fascinating, like case study to case study, because then you have the legal thing with Quinshon Judkins, then you have a guard going 37. Like, what is that, percentage? And like, it is a fascinating thing. It really is a fascinating thing.
All right, so I did 88% guaranteed is the number for the 35th pick last year. So, which was Rook Ororo.
Say it like you're in Scooby-Doo. Say the name like you're in Scooby-Doo.
Rook Ororo.
Yes, you got it. You did it. That's great. Yes.
All right, now we move on and we talk about Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley did land on the top 10 wide receivers list, not as a top 10 receiver, not as an honorable mention, but as also receiving a vote. So Calvin Ridley is in the mix. We'll discuss how high he can climb here in a second. As thank you, I appreciate the laughs for my Scooby-Doo laugh. My 4-month-old son enjoys that as well. So here is the others receiving votes for Calvin Ridley. Devontae Smith. So this is wide receivers 17 through 25. So there are top 10 guys. There are 6 honorable mentions. And then there's Devontae Smith at technically 17. So Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, JSN in Seattle, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, and Cortland Sutton. So the question we're going to ask here, Ryan, is how many of these names can Calvin Ridley jump with a big year with Cam Ward? Right? So these are just the others receiving votes. We'll get into some honorable mentions here in a second, but how many of these names can Calvin Ridley jump with a good year from Cam Ward, with Cam Ward? We'll get to all of your comments here in a second. We'll continue to have that graphic up on the screen so you guys can refer to it. But I want to tell you guys about Lipscomb University and their sports analytics grad program. It is on the forefront of these online programs for sports analytics as sports analytics continue to evolve and overtake the sports industry from a team standpoint, from a media coverage standpoint. It's opening doors for new careers and new opportunities. And everybody watching this show, massively passionate about sports, football, a team, our team, home team, whatever it may be. And so we're here for a reason because we love talking about it. And you can turn your passion into a career by checking out Lipscomb University's sports analytics program. Lipscomb's nationally recognized, located in Nashville, Tennessee, but it doesn't matter where you are. This is a fully online degree, and they're a year or so into it, and they're gearing up to have another class of grad students trying to take that next level with their passion. So check them out online with Lipscomb University's sports analytics program.
If you guys could for us, please, you can go to Google either now or after the show. Just make sure you keep listening to the show. And you can give us a 5-star review. Just Google A to Z Sports. We had almost 180 5-star reviews yesterday. I think we were looking at somewhere in that ballpark.
Close. It's almost there. I think it's a little lower than that. Yeah, almost there. We're approaching that.
We're getting close, and we want you to help us get to that goal and then to exceed that goal ultimately. Make sure that you hit the 5-star review, and you can put any feedback that you would like. If you love the show, if you love someone on the show, if there's topics you want us to hit on, if there's constructive criticism and things that you want to see improved, totally fine. Just make sure that a 5-star review is attached to that critique.
All right. So Calvin Ridley, technically within the top 25 receivers here in the NFL, because he lands as the 23rd, I believe, on this list, right? So you got Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, JSN, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, and then Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton. So the question I want to ask here is how many of these guys can Calvin Ridley jump? 1,000-yard guy a year ago, and without consistent quarterback play whatsoever. Where can he go with a consistent quarterback play from rookie Cam Ward? How many of these names can he jump? So I'll leave the names on the screen for everybody here. So Ryan, I'll let you go to the chat here to see what people are thinking about this one.
Yeah, we had Rooney that get us kicked off with a 4. He said 4 of those guys. We had all of them from Adam, so very confident there with a year of Cam Ward. Tall Texan said 7 to 8. We had 2 from Steven who said above Jamison Williams and DJ Moore. We had 5 to 6 from Titans Kyle, 5 from Ashley. We had Roz _Biggie who said he could jump 3 of them. Eric Castillo said all of them. IR Hoshi said 7. Edward said at least 5. Guy Man said he can crack into the top 10. So basically above everybody, potentially into the top 10 of that list, of that article by Jeremy Fowler at ESPN. Darius said 6. We had Dean Ward who said, I fully expect Ridley to be a top 10 receiver this year, at least top 15. So he thinks that he can make a sizable jump there. Brad said 3 to 4 on that list. Top tier said 5. Bork said 5 as well. Orlando said 6. Big Ten Jeff said 3. Sutton, Pickens, and DJ Moore. Charles also thinks that he could jump into the top 10 potentially this year. We had all of them from David, 6 from Steven. So pretty optimistic, Austin. I mean, there was a couple people that were a little bit low at like 2, 3 to 4, but there was quite a few that think that he could potentially be the top of that list if he takes a sizable jump.
Yeah, Garrett says, I don't see him jumping most of these guys. They have established quarterbacks outside of DJ Moore. So I think that's a good point, right? Because Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, JSN maybe doesn't really with Sam Darnold kind of making that move over there. I think George Pickens with the Cowboys is going to be fascinating to see what that looks like. Like, does he get his act together and play consistently? So I think, Ryan, where are you going with this? Because I do want to mention the honorable mentions just to get some names on the table to kind of figure out the other names that are just outside the top 10. So in reverse order. So this would be the next player right before Devontae Smith in the vote tallying is Devontae Adams, who is, maybe we forget, with the Rams now because why wouldn't he be? So you have Devontae Adams, obviously older, T. Higgins, who just signed his new contract with the Bengals, DK Metcalf, who is now with the Steelers in that trade. Brian Thomas Jr., after a rookie year, we had a big season, is an honorable mention for the Jags. Puka Nacua, an honorable mention, not in the top 10, which I know Easton was not happy, very furious. Easton hated this entire list, by the way. I have notes that he was, yes. Like, okay, I'll go through Easton's list in a second. Terry McLaurin was also an honorable mention. So Easton, let me see if I can scroll back to our text here of just the takes that he was spouting off about how ridiculous this list is. He says, Neighbors and Wilson are too high. A.J. Brown, both Neighbors and Garrett Wilson are in the top 10. A.J. Brown, hilariously low. Easton thinks he's the best receiver in football, and he's at 5. Puka, the biggest whiff. That's effing nuts, Easton said. And he said some of the outlier votes are insane. Example, A.J. Brown's lowest ranking from somebody is not in the top 10. CD Lamb is 10th to somebody. Malik Neighbors is 4th to somebody, which is crazy, too high. Amon-Ra unranked according to somebody. Justin Jefferson being as low as 4th according to some dude is also crazy. So that was all of Easton's responses to this list. So he had plenty of opinions on how bad the list was overall. So
it's funny. He thinks AJ Brown's the best receiver in the NFL. He said
that's what he says.
Ooh, can't disagree more with that. I love AJ Brown, but
I think maybe you could make an argument for. It's really tough because you're talking about Jamar Chase is number 1. Justin Jefferson is number 2. Where Tyreek Hill being at 3 is kind of like
that seemed high. Yeah, that seemed high coming off the year he just had. Agree there, 100%.
Right, and then AJ was 5th behind CeeDee Lamb being 4. So I could see AJ being 3rd.
I could see AJ being 3rd or 4th. Absolutely. I just think the top 2 are like, if you had Jefferson at 1, I wouldn't argue. If you had Chase at 1, I wouldn't argue. But I think those are the top 2 receivers in the NFL right now.
Yes, that's somebody who votes AJ Brown not a top 10 receiver. That's dumb.
Yeah,
you're just being. It's probably a Titans scout or something.
as Easton once said, that's effing nuts. Absolutely, 100% agree. Yeah.
All right, so back on topic here with the Calvin side of things.
Yep.
Where could he jump? What do you? Who is there a guy on or multiple guys on this list, Ryan, that he cannot pass? It is just not going to happen. That Calvin Ridley cannot get past so and so on these other receiving votes.
So here's the I'm not a Tennessee Titans fan for people that have never watched the show. So this is a homer take. I agree with multiple people in the chat. I think that he could be the top of this list that we are projecting on the screen after this year, potentially, because there are a lot of things to work around for every one of these players. Devontae Smith is coming off a year where he was good, but not great. He was a little bit banged up, whatever. I think he only had 900 something yards though this year, didn't he? Devontae Smith wasn't.
Yeah, he was not a 1,000-yard guy.
Yeah. So he's a number 2 receiver in his offense. Lad McConkey had a really nice rookie year, but second year, sometimes you can have a little bit of a second-year slump, and also they are a very run-heavy team under Jim Harbaugh. You look at Jackson Smith and Jigba with Sam Darnold, new quarterback. Jamison Williams is a wide receiver, too, in his offense. DJ Moore has a lot of mouths to feed in the Chicago Bears offense now, and you have to see how good Caleb Williams is going to be. Chris Godwin's coming back from the injury this year. George Pickens is a wide receiver, too. I think Calvin Ridley could be number 1 on this list. I would not be shocked after having 1,000 yards with the combination of Will Levis and Mason Rudolph last year. Would it be shocking if Calvin Ridley had 1,300 yards this year?
No.
And if he does, is he not in contention to be number 1 on this list?
I think he could be higher than that.
Yeah, he could be a top 10 wide receiver potentially just based upon the 2025 season. So yeah, of this list, I think he absolutely could jump everybody. If we're talking about the most reasonable is probably that he jumps 5 to 6, and he's in that high tier of that honorable mention. But if you're asking me how high could he jump, he could definitely jump to be the top of that list.
Yeah, I think it could be the top of that others receiving votes, where I expect Calvin Ridley to have the opportunity, the opportunity on the field within the offense with volume, with attention, and with better execution. He has a chance and an opportunity to be listed as an honorable mention. I think Devontae Adams is not going to be an honorable mention next year. I think he's going backwards. And it has been, right? Because he's probably been a top 10 guy before this. Because is T. Higgins going to stay healthy? I don't know. Brian Thomas Jr., stud, beast, but year 2, year whatever, right? So you've got Terry McLaurin's going through some contract stuff as well in Washington. Mike Evans at 31 years old, at some point, Mike Evans is no longer going to be a top 10 receiver at some point.
Yeah. I mean, the guy just keeps churning out 1,000-yard receiving seasons. You have to guess that at some point he's going to slow down a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's got to happen.
Yeah. Father time will come at some point. I don't know when, but is it next year? I'm not betting against Mike Evans. I'm not saying that, but again, it's going to happen. And I think it'll happen before Calvin Ridley's father time happens.
Yeah. Are they
even though they're both like this?
They're both like the same
they're
age,
months
aren't they?
apart. They're months
Months
apart.
apart. Got
But
it.
there's Calvin Ridley, according to him, he will be 31 in December.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's 27.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I like to think the same thing. I'm 33, but I feel 25. You know what I mean? But
You do.
Reality does set in at some points to let to my back sometimes. You know what I mean? Father Time is undefeated. It just matters when Father Time finally wins that battle. So we'll see. I just like, I'm looking at that list, Austin, though, and it's just like a lot of these receivers have so many competing parts on their team. Like DJ Moore, again, like you're going to be fighting for targets with Roma Dunze and a rookie tight end and the backs and all these types of players, right? And then mentioned like Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams won. There's a new offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. They also have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Sam Laporta. They have the 2 running backs. Like they're competing with so many different people. Who is Calvin Ridley in 2025 competing with heavy volume as a receiver? Like nobody. You're hoping that a Tyler Lockett can come in and have like 40 catches, 50 catches, maybe, right? You're hoping that an Alec Io Manor can do something similar vein, but neither one of those guys are most likely going to threaten 1,000 yards in 2025. Like the only 1,000-yard receiver on the Tennessee Titans is Calvin Ridley. Like that's it. So again, if he increases from 1,000 to 1,200, 1,250, 1,300, like somewhere in that ballpark, he is in the conversation at the top of that list. Like it's going to happen. And yeah, I think he is, I'll put it this way. I think he is the clearest path of that list to being a 1,300-yard receiver in his offense. I think he has the clearest path.
Yeah, and Jeff says he didn't have anyone to compete against last year either, Ryan. Like, yeah, but again, we're like, Jeff, you got to understand the difference of like the quarterback play is a part of this conversation too. Because I would say Calvin Ridley, I don't know how the stat in front of me. Easton's mentioned it before. Calvin Ridley was like top 3, top 5 in the NFL last year in inaccurate throws towards him. There's some weird stat that they keep that. Like if he just has, I don't know, half of those inaccurate throws towards him be completed to him, then he might already have had 1,200 yards last year. There's a lot of yards left on the field. A lot of yards.
I just can't stress how bad a quarterback room of Will Levis and Mason Rudolph is. And even if Cam Ward is not great as a rookie, and again, like if we want to be reasonable expectations, Cam Ward is going to have some great moments and he's going to have some rookie stupid moments. Like both those things are going to exist, but I'm still more confident in Cam Ward as a rookie than I have ever been in Will Levis or I ever have been in Mason Rudolph. Like it's got to be. I would be shocked if Calvin Ridley doesn't have better production than he had last year. I'd be very, very, very surprised.
Yes, it's because there was a game where Calvin Ridley with Will Levis at quarterback had 0 catches on 7 targets last year.
It's almost unthinkably bad. Like it really is. I mean, if you gave me 7 targets in a football game, I bet I could have 1 catch, maybe just one. Probably not, actually. No,
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
I sound like that video. Did you see the video yesterday where the one guy was asking a bunch of the all-star pitchers like how many hits a player could a normal person could have in like 100 at bats or something like that, and like someone said 10. So it said a normal person could have 10, and then everybody else is like 0. Like, and there's no chance you could have a hit off of a major league pitcher.
You're more likely to get hit by a pitch in 100 bats than get a hit off of a major league pitcher in 100 bats. All right, so, but yeah, no, I think I was going to ask this question to you too. Like, do you consider Jackson Smith and Jigba? Is he wide receiver 1 in Seattle now with the moves with DK gone and Tyler Lockett gone? I mean, by default, right? Like, there's not.
Yeah, I mean, you have Cooper Kupp that came in. Obviously,
Right.
Cooper Kupp is deteriorating though, right? Like he's coming off of a very banged up and not great year, even when he was healthy. So yeah, I mean, he has to be wide receiver 1 as of now. I mean, he had over 100 catches last year, over 1,000 yards. So yeah, he's wide receiver 1. But again, with Cooper Kupp there, and I know this is a big caveat because Cooper Kupp has not been healthy recently, but if Cooper Kupp is healthy, that is going to eat away from some of those targets. Like it absolutely is, because what did those guys do different than what DK did? DK Metcalf is an outside receiver, pure outside guy. The middle of the field was Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like that's his role. He's a slot. Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp does a lot of his work to the middle of the field too. So like some of those middle of the field targets might get taken away from Jackson Smith and Jigba, and his production might dip a little bit.
I was going to ask, because if we look at this list again, you've got above Calvin Ridley, you got a bunch of wide receiver 2s within their offense, and JSN, right? So JSN might be wide receiver 1 in Seattle by default, but like Calvin Ridley is nowhere near has the competition of a Cooper Kupp next to him in Nashville. And then you look at the honorable mentions. Devontae Adams is not wide receiver 1.
No.
T. Higgins is not wide receiver 1. DK Metcalf is. Brian Thomas Jr. is. Puka Nacua is, right? Terry McLaurin is. So there's a couple guys there at the top or in the honorable mention category that are wide receiver 2s, and a lot of other guys after them ahead of Calvin that are wide receiver 2s. So again, the opportunity exists for Calvin Ridley to fly up this board. Mm-hmm. And so I do think he will be an honorable mention next year, because the numbers are going to surprise people, and it'll be a big jump from a year ago. He'll score more touchdowns. He'll do all these. He'll have a lot more yards and consistency, and I expect him to be making a lot more waves around the NFL a year from now.
Well, and Ridley had that one crazy year. Like the production was like bananas. He had like almost 1,500 yards or whatever it was Atlanta. That one year. Yeah, like he's not going to have that type of year, but would it be shocking if Calvin Ridley has his second best year of his career and has like 1,300 yards and like 8 or 9 touchdowns? Like I just would not be shocked at all.
I honestly do expect it.
In 17 games? Yeah, I expect it too. As long as he's healthy and Cam Ward stays healthy, I think that should be the perceived production for a player like that. I mean, that's what, 70-something yards a game? Like he should be able to do that every week. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's do a little trivia here. We crushed it yesterday with sports trivia. See if we can back it up with another productive sports trivia here on the show. Here we go. Shout out Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Payne Bone does a great job with helping you find that new ride without having the downtown prices. So check them out, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Ryan, I am getting the Daily Dozen ready. If you are ready, let's see if we can do this smoothly or not.
Let's do it.
But here we go. Ready?
Yep.
No. Why is it not working?
Oh no.
Select window. Share.
Just give it a second. It did this to us yesterday too.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. Go.
Okay, now we're back. 3.5. Orlando.
Oh, come on. You can't do that to us. You can't do that. Come on, man.
We're at 4. Can I ask for 4?
Yeah, can we get 4? At least like 345 or something. Like just a little bit more.
Can we ask for 4? I'm not starting until Orlando responds.
A lot of people are going over right now.
Okay,
Top tier
he
four.
says fair. Okay, so
Okay.
four is the number. 4 is the number. Here, okay, 4 hours. All right, so here we go. NFL around the horn, and we it says 3:45.
Okay.
Oh man, Ryan, shh, let me do
That
the
was my
sales.
fault. I'm not the boss. I should be negotiating.
Come on, what are you
anything.
negotiating? Ryan would be a terrible negotiator for these second round contracts. All right, you asked for 4 and see if you can find something in the middle of that. All right, so starting with the NFL, and then we will go around the horn and finish with celebrity mashup. Off and rolling clock is starting. 5-year span from 99 to 03. This running back total over 6,400 yards with Washington and Carolina.
Stephen Davis.
Ooh, good call. Is that right? Yes,
100% right.
Brands and products. 98, this actor was known for his work with sci-fi franchise, became a spokesperson for the travel.
Shatner.
Yep. William Shatner. Almost
Shatner.
said Bill.
Shatner. Where is
there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
All right, television. Debuting in 07, this Cartoon Network animated series had a parodied satire reality competition like Survivor and The Amazing Race.
Cartoon Network.
Satired reality competition shows like Survivor and The Amazing Race. 07 Cartoon Network? Ugh.
I mean, I should know this. I was in high school, so Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Total drama. Total drama?
I've never heard of that before.
Okay. That's correct. Movies. Matt Damon played a former race car driver and automotive designer in his Best Picture nominated 2018 biographical sports drama featuring Christian Bale and John Burton. That's a hell of a sentence. I have no idea what this is. 2018 biographical sports drama with Christian Bale and John Bernthal.
Help chat.
Ford versus Ferrari.
That sounds right, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go.
Music.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Glock in my Rari is a quote from this 2015 Fetty Wap song. I don't know the name of the song.
Not something to ask me.
I don't know the name of the song.
Do you know the song? I don't even know.
I know the song. Like I can hear it, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay.
Trap Queen.
Trap Queen?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, no.
Oh, that is not right.
Zion and Eric missed it.
Oh, no.
Snacks and candy. Similar to the oatmeal pies, Little Debbie snack cakes consist of two chewy chocolate cookies with light brown fudge cream between.
Fudge rounds. Fudge rounds, right?
Fudge rounds?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, all right.
NBA. Quentin Richardson led the NBA three-point.
Suns.
Yes. Q Rich. College football. Safarian Jenkins.
Washington.
Okay. Celebrity mashup.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, I know the center. I think.
I'm looking at the hair. Whose hair is that? I think we have an answer. For
center is what's her name from Modern Family, from Happy Gilmore?
Oh,
what's her name? Oh, she's so good. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm just not. Oh wait, someone said Cillian Murphy. Is that it? That's what you're talking about? No.
Julie Bowen is absolutely yes, and then
Cillian Murphy. Someone said.
I think you're correct.
Someone in the chat's correct, not me on that one, but see.
Yeah, that was correct. Double dip. All right, music. Remy Boys.
Remy Boys. That's what people were saying. Or someone said, or 679. Could it just be 679? Okay.
Missed it by 5 seconds. Ryan, that's why I went for 4 minutes.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
Oh man.
That was a hard board, man. That was pretty hard.
Well, look how easy we got the top level. How
do people not know where Austin Safarian Jenkins went to college?
Because they don't know ball, Ryan. They don't
know ball, dude. What the hell?
Austin Safarian Jenkins was easy for us, and so was Q Rich as was Stephen Davis for you.
Oh yeah.
Matt,
Well, don't you remember when Stephen Davis was a huge part of that Carolina team that went to the Super Bowl
Yes.
against the Patriots? Like that was a great year. Him and Deshaun Foster and Jake
Yeah.
Delhomme and Masu Muhammad and Steve Smith. That was a great team.
Jake, you got a Delhomme. All right.
Yeah.
Still did well.
Still did well.
The chat is the reason why we missed the music one.
Yes. Well, I mean, I didn't have anything for that one though.
I didn't know the name of the song.
That's a pretty hard board though, man. It's a pretty hard
Only
board.
35 perfect, and we were close.
You know what's funny is that I didn't think the
50.
movies one was that easy, but apparently people think it is. Yeah.
Which one? I don't even remember
That was like that Ferrari one, right? Like Ford versus Ferrari or whatever.
Yeah. So hey, we'll take it. It's a victory. All right, that's it for us. Hope everybody has a great Thursday. We'll catch you guys tomorrow on a Friday Buck Rising Live with Prime Time tonight. And Easton will have his hardball movie review from the beach tomorrow. So we will make sure you watch Hardball if you want to watch it again for Easton's review. We'll catch you guys later on. Appreciate it as always.